Today, I want to talk about two things. The first thing I want to talk about is the indecent and forceful burial of Abenny Jachiga. Abenny Jachiga was buried like a dog at night. And that's the second case we are witnessing in Nyanza. So I want to talk about it. The second thing I want to talk about is Raila Odinga's handlers. I think they're a bit irresponsible in my view. But let's begin with Abenny Jachiga. Abenny Jachiga is one of the Ohangla stars in Nyanza. And probably whether you are a Luo or not, you must be knowing, or you should be knowing, Abenny Jachiga because of two songs. The first song, which actually trended, and I remember even in France, someone shared that song, and it had like 3 million views on Facebook. Mano Kasinde.
Mano Kasinde, Mano Kasinde, Katachuare Kasinde, Katachuare Kasinde.
And people used to love that song and still dance to its tune.
Amilo picha amigo guilla huye misiki poste epi no puedo chuñar a maya adigida 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 okay. Ya voy yiri mati wasero
And then the second song, which personally also I enjoyed much, was the Maraga song, the one he composed after the Supreme Court ruling. So Abenny Jachiga passed on 10th. That was on Wednesday, around 6 p.m. So that's when news started flowing online that Abenny Jachiga had died. Then the next day, on Thursday, fans started streaming to where his body was. And in fact, the police had to use tear gas. And on Friday, which was yesterday, is when all the chaos erupted. And Abenny's case is the second case. The first case happened in Siaya. And the Minister for Health, Mutahi Kagwe, promised that such kind of a thing will never happen again. And I don't want to blame the family. I don't want to blame the fans. I want to lay the blame squarely on the COVID committee, the county COVID committee. That COVID committee at the county level, I think, is chaired by the county commissioner and the governor. There is no way someone like Abenny Jachiga, who struggled all his life, used to compose songs around here, Kisumu, Chiga, just composing and singing in these small clubs, made a break and became a household name bigger than the family. Then you want to convince people that you are going to use force. On Friday, you want to take the body from the mortuary, take it to Chiga, and then you announce to people that you are going to bury it within 1 hour. And then you go ahead, and I can't remember the number of police officers who were deployed there, because at some point they had to even call for reinforcement from Kericho. Today, another legend, John Zeze, is being buried in Vihiga. We've seen people gathering at that funeral. No tear gas. People are not keeping social distancing. People are not sanitizing. Nothing. But it's a legend. So what stopped the county government of Kisumu and the county commissioner to sit together and decide to even break their own law? Because the signal was sent actually on Thursday when fans stormed that hospital. And it became very clear when the body was being removed from the mortuary in Kisumu here. In fact, I've never witnessed such kind of a convoy. It can only be compared to when Owino Misiani died and his body was being taken to Sirare. Those who are alive there tells me it can only be compared to that time. And also, I also saw the body of Musa Juma being moved from Kisumu here to Osonga in Alego in a very huge convoy. So the county government of Kisumu and the county commissioner should have realized that the case of Abenny Jachiga was a bit different. What fans wanted was just to be allowed to view the body. So in my view, the tear gas at that home was disrespectful to the family. I want to believe that the family had agreed, because if you followed that convoy from the way it moved from Kisumu all the way to the home, there were no problems. The problems only arose when, because you can say those people were rowdy. Of course, they were not rowdy. If they were rowdy, you can tell me any shop they looted. They were just mourning. They were just people on motorbikes, fans wanting to see the guy. Then you tell them after 1 hour, you don't want to see any other person. So, and of course, during the day, it was clear that the burial was not going to take place. So the security apparatus of this country, especially of the Kisumu County and also the county government, ought to have redesigned a different strategy on how to handle this case. I am sure if they had agreed with the family, with the friends and the local leadership that they had underestimated the influence of Abenny Jachiga on fans, then today morning, let's say from 10 a.m. up to even 2 or 3 or 4 now, then the burial is conducted and concluded. What people wanted was just the body to be taken maybe to a nearby school so that people can view it. Because the first thing we know for sure is that up to now, the cause of death has not yet been established. So it cannot be attributed to even the COVID. Those are the realities. So I think Abenny Jachiga deserved better. We saw the father to Ayub Savola died. Was he hurriedly buried? Of course, I saw the father to Jude Jomo, the mother to Jude Jomo. Was it Jude Jomo? One of the members of parliament from Central was forcefully also buried. But we saw Tekla Muigai staying more than the 48 stipulated time. What stopped these guys to just seek for permission from even higher authorities so that this guy could be given a decent send-off? Because today now, I know Luos are very bitter. They're very bitter. Luo take things like burial very seriously. I know people can argue that there's nothing like decent burial. This guy had outgrown the family. He had outgrown the village. That's why he's making headline. So it was just fair to be allowed to be given decent burial. I saw images today of the mother and of the wife. The mother and the wife actually sat on the grave to stop the fans from exhuming the body. What kind of torture are we subjecting that family to? I saw a group of young men and women at the home yesterday filling the grave with soil to stop the hurried burial yesterday. Then again, these guys still find time to go to the home at night at 2 a.m. to forcefully conduct the burial. I don't know whether there was a church minister. I don't know whether the family were allowed to even kumwaga mchanga. I don't know. But it's a very unfortunate incident. The government of Kenya must now start figuring out how they are going to stop such kind of things from happening. Because it's now appearing that if you are a son of a nobody, then you are subjected to this kind of inhumane burials. Abenny Jachiga didn't deserve that kind of a burial. Indeed, not only Abenny Jachiga, any other person. Of course, the current situation has changed a lot. Personally, I've buried a cousin within 48 hours and we were comfortable with it. We only 15 people. It happens everywhere. And because the guy was not beyond our family, at least you are able to control. But here you are talking of a guy whose songs were making 3 million views outside the country. You want to force him with that kind of burial. May Abenny Jachiga soul rest in peace. I just hope the family will get the strength and comfort to overcome what they went through. Now back to Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga and his handlers, and specifically his handlers, has been holding meetings after meetings after meetings at Capitol Hill. We know so well that Raila Odinga, at his age, is more prone to the virus. Why is he being exposed? Why is Raila Odinga being exposed? Must Raila Odinga continue meeting with leaders from across the country at Capitol Hill? Sometimes they put mask, sometimes he doesn't. He meets people even without putting mask. The sad part is that occasionally, these guys even go to the extent of going to Kajiado to Atuli's home. Huge gathering. Then Raila is still there. Why are we allowing? Why is that being allowed? We know for sure that in this country, there are Kenyans who still believe that there's nothing like COVID in this country. There are Kenyans who believe so. But personally, I strongly believe that precaution is good. Raila Odinga's handlers must be responsible enough and protect Raila Odinga. Compare what's happening to State House. If you go to State House today, people are checked, temperatures are taken. The other day, I saw even the deputy president being subjected on a line. Then he keeps social distancing. And the staffs there are tested every now and again. So the State House staffs are actually protecting the president. What about the allies of Raila Odinga? What about the handlers of Raila Odinga? I think they're insensitive. Take, for example, even the case of Abenny Jachiga. They didn't even bother to send a message of condolence. This is a guy who composed a song on Maraga after that ruling. Yet, the Matthews, with all due respect, was also a legend. But they took time, they sent a message of condolence. What message are they trying to send? Tekla Mugai, he sent a condolence message, he went to the family, and again still went to the burial. I know they have a personal tie with Tabitha Karanja. He might not have that personal touch or tie with Abenny Jachiga. But sending a message of condolence would not have cost much. I don't know what you think. Thank you guys, and please, may you have a good day.